What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tip of the Iceberg Wrestling Podcast, where wrestling meets reality. If you're watching from the YouTube channel, thank you. Make sure you hit the bell icon and subscribe. Here we discuss wrestling in a realistic point of view. Last night's Raw was very good. It seems every other week the Raws are phenomenal. Every 2 weeks, and last night was the case. Raw in Madison Square Garden, or the Garden as everybody did a cheap pop for to call it, was a very good Raw. This is my review of the show. So Raw started off with it was a good contract signing segment. Something I said last week in my live stream on my main channel is that these contract signings are a little bit nonsensical. It's one of those gimmick things that WWE does that no one really believes in. You're trying to tell us that you have a match coming up in 6 days, and there's no contract signed, no payments, like payment types getting ready and all that stuff. Just 6 days before the match, you finally have the contract signed. This is stuff like this that WWE does that I don't believe in. I just think it's stupid, and WWE thinks the fans are just clueless and stupid, and everything they do is supposed to that's very realistic. You don't have a contract signed 6 days before a match. I've never believed in the contract signings. All these contract signings either say is that someone's going through the table that they used to sign it on, or that it's going to be a nice brawl. And the latter happened here. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the contract signing mediator. He made sure it all went down accordingly, quote unquote, and that business was taken care of. He came out to a huge pop and went down memory lane. Now, this promo, any promo Steve Austin does to this day still is phenomenal. He still has the chops to cut a promo. He got a little tongue-tied in this promo, but Steve Austin, he fixed it up. You wouldn't noticed it if you weren't listening to really in depth listening to his promo. But he's talking about how he faced Bret Hart at the Garden, and how he faced Undertaker at the Garden, and it was a very good nostalgic memory lane trip. I really enjoyed that. But he brought up Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. And Seth did your very, very typical babyface. He mentioned the Garden and Steve Austin in the same promo and got double the cheap pops. But this segment was just a typical contract signing. Seth cut a little promo on Braun and then signed it, and Braun cut one and then signed it. Then the OC came out. Again, shocking. AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows came out. And this was a great promo by AJ. He did a Steve Austin impersonation that I think was top notch. It was very good, a very good Steve Austin impersonation. And ended up, he was talking down how Steve's an old fart and made jokes of that, and basically everybody's an underthought compared to Seth and Braun, which I admit is true. It seems like the focus is on Seth and Braun, really no one else. They got in the ring, and they brawled with Braun and Seth. Braun did his typical rampage, running around the ring and knocking everybody down. And AJ Styles ate the stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Steve looks to be in great shape. It's being rumored, I've heard, it's been very soft rumors as of maybe the last couple of weeks, but Steve Austin is rumored to be returning to WWE as a wrestler. I'm assuming on a part-time basis. And he looks to be in great shape. He looks like he's jacked. He's been working out. You've seen his Instagram and stuff. So he's getting prepared for something. I figure it was to stay up to par on his TV show, Straight Stone Cold, Straight Steve Austin. I think it's for that. But it's being rumored somewhere that he wants to return to WWE for a stint. But this opening segment with all the guys was great. And AJ, I could not get over the Steve Austin impersonation. That was very funny. And he is right. Everybody is becoming an underthought. Literally everybody on the roster is an underthought to AJ and Braun. But that was the first opening segment. First match I did not see. I know it was Cedric versus AJ after AJ the Stunner. And I'm going to assume Cedric won for payback. It was a good storytelling aspect. AJ was kind of reeling from his stunner, so Cedric took advantage, which is cool to see Cedric, if that's the case. That was cool. The first match I saw was Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. You got Sasha and Becky fighting at Clash of Champions and Charlotte and Bayley Clash of Champions. It was odd seeing Lynch and Flair on the same team after all they've been through the last couple of years, but I guess it makes sense since both of the opponents are teaming up together, so it makes sense. This match was phenomenal. I think it was a very good match. Only issue I had this match was Charlotte Flair went for a moonsault, and it was the weakest, the softest, the safest moonsault I've ever seen in my life. She went to do the moonsault, little landed on her knees opposite Bayley, then just flopped on her. That was the worst moonsault I've seen in my life. And Charlotte was known to have some good moonsaults. But here lately, her moonsaults have been trash. She's been doing them too safe, too soft, and they're not looking realistic. She needs to just give her all into this do a moonsault. But here, that was very botchy, and I watched the botch guy every time he posts a video. If he doesn't react on this, I'll be surprised. That moonsault was weak. But the match, nonetheless, was a very, very good match. Very fast-paced, physical match. It was a good match. I enjoyed besides that moonsault spot. If it weren't for that, it'd been a very, very phenomenal match. I call it phenomenal, but it's probably I would say it was just a great match. Because that moonsault was terrible, so I can't call it phenomenal thinking about it. So go back and watch that moonsault. It was nasty in a bad way. But nonetheless, the match itself as a whole was an awesome match. It was good to set up Charlotte beat Bayley. And then they made Charlotte beat the champ. Oh my goodness. Bayley's not at that level yet. Well, you can't be surprised Charlotte Flair beat Bayley. If Bayley beat Charlotte, if the roles were reversed, maybe. But Charlotte beating Bayley was not a big deal as the commentators made it look like it was. But it's a good momentum boost for Charlotte going to the Clash of Champions. Next up, they had the OC talking to I don't even know her name. They call her the wannabe Charlotte. I think they call her. They're making fun of her. And then Rudolph, as Russell Talk calls them, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode came in and said, "Hey, we have a common enemy. Let's take care of business," basically. And this shows, I forget all the time that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are the number one contenders for the tag titles Sunday. It would have made more sense to book Gallows and Anderson in maybe like a rematch because they lost the titles to them. But I know they say no. The McMahon said months ago, no more rematches. But in this case, it would have made sense because it seems like Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode just ride the coattails of the OC and getting nowhere in return. So they booked this backwards because you're focused on the OC more than Dolph and Robert, and it shows that they are just here to make Braun Strowman look good, as according to reports. It's the only reason they're in the match is because they bump for Braun very well. But in recent weeks, Alec Gallows and Anderson's been bumping for Braun very well. So I would have just put them into the match. I still would add it into a triple threat tag match maybe Sunday because they've been focused on the OC way more than Rudolph. And I love that they've called that. It's so funny. But yeah, they've become the afterthought like everybody else is in regards to the Rollins-Braun feud. And that's not good. Looking back at this whole roster of people, you're literally focused on maybe two or three people. So that's a little issue right there I've noticed. Even though I'm dogging on this opening stuff a little bit, this stuff was very good. There's some minor issues and some things like I've mentioned, and some oversights I feel on WWE creators' part. But nonetheless, this Raw was good. Don't get me wrong, this Raw was fantastic. I'm just giving you the good and the bad because it wasn't perfect. It still had some issues. And then the next match was Rey Mysterio versus Grand Metalik. And this match was very good. This was a good Lucha Libre showcase. And I like Grand Metalik here. He's not had a chance to shine like this on 205 Live, to my knowledge. He's done pretty good flippy stuff and all that, but here was just your technical, fast-paced Lucha Libre match. It could have been a little bit faster, I think, for these two guys, especially being a Lucha Libre style. It could have been a little bit faster, but this match was very good, I think. It showcased that Ray still has it. That's the storyline going forward. Ray can still go and can go with the best of them. So this will he'll probably end up being the Universal title picture in the future, just to keep going with this storyline that he still has it and can go with the best of them. So I hope to see him versus Seth down the line. But this match was very good, a good match. Ray won with a 619 Frog Splash combo. For a very good match, I like what they're doing with Ray. Hopefully he'll be going up against like Kalisto and Lince Dorado, even maybe Ricochet in the future. Have him go against the young and upcoming talent and help them shine in defeat. Because Grand Metalik looked very good here and very was put over very well. Where's Metalik going forward? Nowhere, probably back to 205 Live and to do Lucha House Party things. But here he looked like a viable threat to Rey Mysterio as far as keeping this momentum for him going. Metalik had a very good showing here. I wish they'd push the Lucha Libres a little bit more and they'd be more prominently, besides Ray, because you got Lince, Grand Metalik, Sin Cara, who's injured. But I just wish they'd push the Lucha Libre stars a little bit more heavily, because the Rey Mysterio is what got me into professional wrestling when I was a child, because I loved watching him do his flips and dives, and 619 was my favorite move of all time as a child. So Lucha Libre wrestlers in WWE have stayed. They can draw in young fans, kids, and all that stuff, because Ray did that to me. I just wish they'd be featured more prominently in today's television. But this match was very good. After this match, we have the typical Street Profits hyping up what's happening, what's going to happen. I love the Street Profits, and they're good in NXT, and they have the NXT nameplate still and all that. And I wish they would debut on Raw or go back to NXT. So I like what they're doing. I like their hype segments, but they were way more than just hype pieces. They were so good in the ring, very good in the ring. Their match at the last takeover was phenomenal. Montez Ford is just tripping charisma, and they're literally just doing the hype on Raw, and that's it. They could be very well utilized on the Raw tag team scene. Them versus the Viking Raiders, them versus anybody would be a good match, I think. But it's assumed that they're staying in NXT because the NXT going to USA, so it's fine. But they needed to stay there. Don't be having them hype and that's it. While that's enjoyable, I want to see more from them on the main roster, not just them hyping up. Because Montez Ford drips charisma, and so Dawkins is a good backup piece. But Montez Ford is staying out as the charismatic piece of the puzzle. And you got Angelo Dawkins, who's the strength, and he's also very agile too. This team together, this is a very good team, and they need to do more on the main roster than just be hyping up the show. Because and it seems that they keep teasing that they want to debut just by some things they're saying. I can't remember what they say, but they have like serious moments where they're staring at the camera like, "We're coming for you," and type of feeling, but they don't do nothing. So I just wish they'd be utilized better on the main roster and stay in NXT where they're at currently. Anyway, next match. The hype was great though, nonetheless. The next match was the King of the Ring, I think the semifinals. You had Samoa Joe versus Ricochet versus Baron Corbin. This match was the match of the night. Baron Corbin had a match of the night last week with Cedric Alexander, and this match with Ricochet and Joe was just phenomenal. It was an epic match. All three of these men meshed very well together, very well together. The ending was brilliant, in my opinion. You had Ricochet hit Samoa Joe with a 630, a very poorly executed 630. It looked like he didn't land it all the way like he wanted. And Joe might be injured from this, but Ricochet hit the 630. Baron Corbin came in and pushed him out of the ring, basically, and then took the pinfall and won. So Baron Corbin's going to face either Chad Gable or Elias. I'm assuming he's going to be facing Chad Gable being a heel. But this match was incredible. Like I said, Ricochet's ending 6:30 was poorly executed a little bit. Seems like he didn't get all the momentum he wanted for it. It landed kind of weird. And after the match, you saw trainers checking on Joe. Hopefully, he's not injured or too badly injured. But this match was the match of the night, probably of the week. Fantastic. Next match was Lacey Evans versus Natalya. Again, and they're talking about how Natty wants revenge. I'm not sure what I missed, but literally all they did last week was have a good match. Lacey beat her straight with the women's right. Why she want revenge? Because she lost. But this match too was a very good match. I'm not gonna knock it. Very good match, despite being the second time these two fight. Natalya taps out Lacey Evans. So now these two are one win apiece. This probably will go on to Clash of Champions as a pre-show match where you have like the best of 3 series type of thing. Well, I'm hoping Lacey wins and gets the rub for that. But making her tap out last night was a poor choice. I would have just pinned her. Only made her tap out if I was trying to build her up to be a viable threat. Because she's been having good matches with Bayley and Natalya as of late. She can handle her own. But having her tap out, I think, was a poor choice in my opinion. But the match itself was very good. Natalya and Lacey are now 1 win each. Curious to see where they go with this. So, I was thinking it might be like a Sheamus Cesaro type of thing. That these two end up fighting so much that they get respect for each other and all that. They end up putting a tag match. And they end up becoming women tag team champions, potentially. That'd be a cool team of Lacey and Natalya, I think. So maybe that's what they hit with this type of thing. I don't know. Next up was they had R-Truth segment, 24/7 championship segment. It was him with some basketball player. I didn't catch his name. He ended up basically showing up here in a Boston jersey and got heel heat. So he turned heel on the crowd at Madison Square Garden, Manhattan, and also come out to celebrate, like tout with him. This is before he took off his jersey, by the way. But he ended up getting like shoved down the floor by the player and pinned for the title. And then like a second later, he gets rolled up again. He takes off and shows his new jersey and gets booed. Then gets rolled up. And R-Truth is now like your 16-time champion. We were joking in the Xbox Live party last night. Again, if you want to join the chat, add me at tbug61794. On Xbox One, you can join the chats for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, and pay-per-views. Anyway, we were joking that all these years we've been thinking John Cena's gonna be Ric Flair's title number of 16 titles. Because John's at 16 too, I believe. But we're like, no, it's R-Truth. He's going to be the GOAT. He's going to be the one to beat Ric Flair's title numbers. He's at like 15 or 16 27 championship reigns himself. So we're joking like he's going to be the one that beats Ric Flair. That's funny, I thought. The main event match was a 10-man tag team match. You had Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Cedric Alexander, and the Viking Raiders, who turned face apparently, versus the OC and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. This match was very good. It was kind of slow to start, I think, because the crowd was doing the typical things they do in that hyper and boring. They were chanting people's names, doing the wave, stuff like that. So you could tell that they were kind of getting burnt out and tired by this point. But they were still hyped. This crowd was hyped throughout the whole show. They made the show look so important. Every match would be so important. But the crowd was great here in Manhattan. And this match, it was the type of style slow. It picked up immensely as it went on. Braun Strowman's hot tags are still the best thing going. Braun gets tagged, he just wants to look at everybody. And it was an awesome match, but the ending of the whole show was legit super rushed. It kind of killed the whole ending of Raw for me. You legit had, I think, Seth won. I can't remember. As soon as the 1, 2, 3 hit, Steve Austin's music hit, he literally sprinted down the ring and got like 7, 8 beers and tossing all the faces, and they did the beer break together, and that's the end of the show. You can tell how it was super rushed because, like I said, as soon as 3 hit, Steve was already his music hit, and he run down the ring, and it was super rushed. Feel like how SmackDown's been feeling for the last few weeks for me is if it's a minute before the ending, it's all up in the air, rushed. That's how this felt. They could have timed this to where the match ended like maybe 3 minutes before 11 p.m. EST here. They could have had it where it ended 3 minutes before the match, so they had plenty of time for Steve to come out with a fun entrance and enjoy beers with the faces. But this ending was super rushed, and it kind of made the point of the segment to fall flat. It made it fall flat. Am I looking forward to Braun and Seth Sunday? I am. The WWE's done a pretty good job of getting me invested in that. But Steve's involvement in the show, I think, helped a lot. It was good to see Steve Austin. Like I said, AJ's impression of him was spectacular. It was very funny. The show, out of 5 stars, I'd give it 4. There were some issues in the show because not every show is perfect. The worst part of the show was that Charlotte moonsault. I swear it was. That moonsault was cringy. I'd watch it if I was you. But the show was a phenomenal thing. Very good show. It was a type of RAW that was so good, the time flew by so fast. It was just a good show. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the show. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why or why not? Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like Tip of the Iceberg Wrestling Podcast on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Tune in the morning for my SmackDown live review. Hopefully, starting next week, I can do live videos. We'll see how my schedule goes. But if not, they'll be pre-recorded like this or on camera. My camera's having issues today. That's why I did audio. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about the show. Subscribe to the bell icon. Like us on Facebook. I'll talk to you guys later.